Okay, so this video is just going to serve as a quick rundown of my Kritamine Harlowe build. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, so let's just get straight into it. So the main focus of the build is the What's for Dinner, specifically a low level one. Now we're using a low level one because it gives us a smaller capacity. With a smaller capacity, we can refill the shield quicker with distribution function. If we refill the shield, we get our amp shots, and with more amp shots, we do more damage. Now from my testing, a lower level pots can give you as high as double your DPS compared to a level 50. That's specifically with high fire rate weapons. Something like a bod, you won't be able to shoot quick enough for that to make a big difference. But if you're using a Lucian's Flank or something like the Wombo combo, Whiskey Foxtrot as well is really good. You'll notice a big difference in damage output. Now, the skills. Momentum increases your critical hit damage. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, that's the best thing to take here, so just put 5 points in here. Neutron Decay isn't great. It's a nice gun damage bonus, but we're not focusing primarily on using radiation-based weapons. I do have a Rad Lucians here. You can use a Rad Ceramic, Rad Wombo. I mean, you can. It's just not required. So I would recommend putting 5 points in here because there really isn't much else. But I wouldn't worry too much about using rad weapons specifically just to take advantage of this skill. It's just a nice to have. Next we have Creative Overflow. Now this deals increased gun damage based on her overshield. The more overshield she has, the bigger the bonus. Now despite what it says, and despite what you may think, the level of our watts, even though it's level 30, doesn't affect how much overshield we can get. So with distribution function, I'm pretty sure it scales off your level, not your shield. So we can get the full benefit of this skill despite having a low level watts, so it's really good. Next we have Confirmative Reality. Now this skill is the only thing you need to get your action skill back. As soon as your action skill ends, just shoot an enemy in the crit for a couple seconds, you'll get your whole cooldown back. Very good. Put 2 points in here, done deal. Next is Decoherence. Now this is a really good skill. It's one of your biggest bossing skills. It's a 25% multiplicative bonus at the end of your damage formula. Now if you have a class mod, the Physicist, with 5 in Decoherence, you can bump it up to 50%. Try to look for one of these class mods. If you can't find one, it's not the end of the world, but it will greatly improve your bossing potential. Then we have Latent Charge. Now this is just a huge bonus to our damage potential. I know a lot of people put points into Feedback Loop instead, and I just cannot fucking understand why, because this skill is actually fucking awful. The action skill damage it gives you is fuck all, because the action skill damage in our damage formula is a very small part of the damage we deal. So buffing it, it's just not worth investing into. Now, action skill duration, you do not need to concern yourself with that. As long as you have a Savant with points in Control Group, which is this skill here, just killing enemies will give you action skill cooldown and action skill duration, 10% per kill. As long as you have that, you do not need to waste points in Feedback Loop. If you can get a Savant with action skill duration as well, I mean this is like the god roll. You don't need both action skill duration and Control Group, but as long as you have a couple points in Control Group, that's really all you should ever need for duration. When it comes to action skill cooldown rate, we've already addressed this. Confirmative Reality is the only thing you need. Don't waste points in Feedback Loop. Latent Charge is just more damage, more benefit. Then we have Nuclear Winter. I briefly kind of alluded to this. This is what makes the build work. This is what allows you to get infinite crits. Now the thing is, the bonus cryo damage and radiation damage on the card looks really good. 25% bonus damage of damage dealt, whatever. In reality, it's a really small part of our damage formula. So I would not bother investing into action skill damage or skill damage just to buff this. This is really just to get, what was it, Excited State to work. Then we have Harlowe Certainty Principle. This is just a buff to Harlowe's gun handling. Now, most builds will put points in Gamma Ray Burst instead, but the issue with this skill is that it scales off the capacity of your shield. Because we're using a low capacity watts, this skill will do fuck all damage. It's just not worth using any points. So I've just put 5 in Certainty Principle. It's not a great skill, it doesn't really do anything for your damage, but it is really nice for Lucian's Flank. It just makes it fucking laser even when you're using a double barrel ult fire, so I do enjoy this skill, even if it's not great. Next is critical funding. This is another huge part of the build. This is what gives you effectively infinite ammo, infinite mag size. Very good. It will refund your ammo so easily. You'll never have to reload your bod, your Lucians, your whiskey. Any high fire rate, high pellet count weapon will be able to abuse this skill. Next is meltdown. Now meltdown is just more bonus radiation damage. It's not great, but it's, damage is damage. I put 4 points in here. I did test 5 in meltdown and 4 in latent charge, but I found latent charge gives you more damage, so I've elected to put only 4 into meltdown. Next we have excited state. I mentioned this earlier. This is what's given us our automatic critical hits. Now the interesting thing about this is, as most people should know, excited state gives you fake crits, kind of similar to the crit knife. Now the thing is, while vindictive enhancements like this one, where it says gun critical damage is increased by 50%, that will not work with these fake crits from excited state. What does work, however, are buffs from the skill tree that buff critical hit damage. For example, momentum, or meltdown, which procs off critical hits, or even excited state itself. All these bonuses do work for these automatic crits, so keep that in mind. Next we have distribution function. I've already mentioned this. This is what's given us our shield back based on the damage we deal. Now, I've only put 4 points in here because we have a lower capacity shield. I don't think there's a big difference between 4 or 5. Arguably, I don't even need 4, but I've just decided to put 4 in just for survivability and just to be safe. Then we have accretion. I've taken 1 point from distribution function, put it in accretion for 2 reasons. One, survivability. You want to keep your health up when you're mobbing, when you're bossing. Second reason is this spec, the best defense. Now this gives you more damage based on the fullness of your shield or health, whichever has higher maximum capacity. Now, as I've mentioned, we're using a low level What's for Dinner. With that in mind, this spec will only scale off your health, how full your health is. So you want your health to be full as often as possible, hence why we have life steal. 3% isn't a huge amount, it's not great, but it's something, and that, along with a kill spring, should keep you pretty much always topped up. You should very rarely go down with this build. Finally is group study. Group study's good, blah 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 blah. It's gun damage, fire rate, reload speed, nothing to complain about. Now with specs, as I mentioned, we're using the best defense. This is a really good skill, it's a non-negotiable, just take this one. Then we have riddle you this. This is just free gun damage, also non-negotiable, take this one 100%. The last two, you can kind of pick whatever you like. I've picked bullets are scared of me. This is kind of just for survivability. I'm not sure how much of a difference it's making, but given that we're using a low level Watts, I figured a bit of extra damage reduction is quite nice. As for I am a gun, this is buffing our action skill damage a bit. I did say it's not really worth investing into action skill damage, but really there isn't a whole lot of other options here. You could run bullet train. I'm not a huge fan of this spec, so I've put I am a gun. Use what you want, to be honest. Now firmware, we've got Deadeye, obviously critical hit damage, very good for this build, and high caliber for more gun damage. Can't really go wrong with this setup. When it comes to weapons, we've got a whole slew of things Harlowe can use. Basically anything with high fire rate, high pellet count. For example, Lucian's Flank, I really enjoy this for mobbing. You can use bods, sticky bods for bossing, impact bods for mobbing, specially file enemies. You can use the Stray for mobbing or even bossing. You can use Wombo for either, it's not as good as other options for bossing, but it's pretty good for mobbing. You can use the Whiskey for bossing. This is really good for bossing. Wouldn't recommend it for mobbing because of the charge up time. You can use Borees. 7th Sense, this is for bossing. This is probably Harlowe's strongest bossing weapon. You're looking specifically for a Daedalus shotgun roll. This is the god roll. This is the highest base damage you can get. You want base damage on the 7th Sense, not crit damage. Alternatively, you can go for a Ripper roll like this one. The base damage is a little lower, but the extra mag size and the automatic, full auto is just a really nice quality of life thing to have. For rep kits, we've got the Kill Spring. This is for our mobbing. This is just to keep you up, keep you healthy, keep you alive. When you're bossing, you can use a Shiny Wall Paint, both with Enrage. The fire rate and the damage is just nice on the Wall Paint for bossing. Ordnance, we've got a Throwing Knife. We don't really need the penetrator augment, you can try using the suppressor or something else, but the damage amp is really nice. It's a very underrated debuff for enemies. For class mods, we've got the Savant. I've mentioned this already. You're looking for as many points in control group as you can get, as many gun damage bonuses and action skill duration for secondary stats, but you don't need action skill duration as I mentioned before, but if you can get it, that's quite good for mobbing. For bossing, you want a physicist with as many points in decoherence as you can get, and as many bonuses to your secondary stats like gun damage, damage down, and critical hit damage that you can get. We've mentioned the shield countless times. You want a low level Watts, and for enhancements, you've got a couple options. You can use a hat trick for bounce pass and sequencer. This is what I use for my mobbing with Jacob's roll weapons, specifically Lucian's flank or a stray. Alternatively, you can use a pounder for bossing when using a Torg bod, or you can use a Daedalus accelerator for the bod. You can also use a multi-strike for the 7th sense. You can use a Hero of the Bullet for Lucian's flank, or for the Whiskey Tango, or the Whiskey Foxtrot rather. Basically, you're just matching the enhancement to the weapon you're using. The Vindictive Slugger is really good for the Ripper 7th sense as well. So any of these will do. And I think that about wraps it up. Yeah, there's not much else to mention. I could do a quick run of this vault just to show you the build, but not much more to say.
What are these bone stacks running, aside from the ground?
Yeah, what a wonderful day.
Calculations correct.
Something like stay ready.
Is any fight machine really there?
Let us let's go hard.
See how quickly everything dies, and my action skill duration was nearly full by the time I finished that room. And you don't have to use Lucians, you can use other stuff as well, like the Stray. So just pick a random one. Pick that one. I guess I'll give you a bit of context as I'm running through this vault. This build is very similar to other green build Harlows you'll see, like Moxie's Infinicrit. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just better optimized, better damage, better bossing.
I think a little chaos is in order. What a way to go!
As you can see, you can pretty much use anything. Now my action skill durations just ran out. I can show you just how quickly you can get back your action skill. That's the wrong weapon, but I have it back.
Predictable as all hell.
7th sense isn't even that good for mobbing, but you can see just how good this build is. It will use pretty much anything you use, or you want to use it on. English? What I'm trying to say is anything will work.
Perfect projectile passing.
Now, for the boss, what am I going to use? I can use a... Let's use a whiskey. I'll match the enhancement to the weapon I'm using, so that's going to be a flat off. You're going to want Hero of the Bullet for bullet hose and box magazine, ideally vindictive. Do I have one? I do. Yeah. Swap out rep kit for war paint, swap out savant, physicist. This is all unnecessary optimization. Like, you're gonna kill the build, you're gonna kill the boss with half of this stuff, less than half. As long as you have the shield and the right skills, you'll be fine.
It's about to get cold. Stay right there.
That easy. And I could have killed him quicker if I used a better weapon. About sums up the video. Hope this was helpful, and fuck off.